I felt like support. That's what
Right.
it was. I felt like people believed in me, and it was hard to believe in myself. Even now, still struggle with that college stability versus music. It wasn't that, it was just me doing it. Yeah, I just kind of found myself just keep doing it because I just
Right.
love it. So I just want to make music. I want to play shows. I want to record. I want to write.
We're on both?
Yes, we're good to go.
Okay, welcome back, guys.
All right.
Today we have a very special guest. You want to introduce yourself? You're speaking to this camera.
Yeah, my name's Yosef David, and I'm excited to be here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited too. I was like in preparation for this interview, I was like listening to your music, and
Sweet.
it's like I was getting into like a mode, you know, like a really like calm, like serene. Is that a word? Serene.
Mhm.
I always look for Chaya
Yeah.
for words because she's like the smart one.
I mean, no, I don't know. I
serene
sometimes
mode.
make up words, by the way, and then I listen back to the podcast. I'm like, I hope nobody caught that because I
Yeah.
just made that word up. So don't look at me next
Okay.
time. 'Cause
Wait,
I'm
what
making
does
up words.
serene mean though? Is that
I mean, like I'm thinking of like
peaceful?
serenity,
so.
so like
Serenity.
serene.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
anyways, very calm. Like but I like tuned in. I don't know. It was a really cool experience. Like,
Sweet.
but in general, can you describe like your career and like what you do exactly, if like in like a sentence?
Yeah, what I do, I mean, I write music, I produce it, and I try to share it with the world. And yeah, there's a lot more that's in there. but
Yeah. Do
I
you
guess
you
yeah.
produce it all yourself? Like
the current stuff I produce myself. The older stuff I had a friend of mine, Shlomo Wolf, produce for me because
Okay.
it's more of a recent development that I started producing on my own.
oh wow, that's
So,
cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like a new skill. I would say
How is it?
It's good.
Yeah,
A
can
year
you
and a
describe what
half.
producing means?
Yeah, so producing is recording and arranging everything. So it's
Right.
basically, if you think of a song has many layers to it. There's a main vocal, there's a drum, there's keys, there's
Harmonies.
bass, there's harmonies, there's
Right.
layers. Like some songs have like 50, 60, 70
Wow.
layers on it. So it's all about layering it and making it, keeping it true to itself.
Wow. So how long does it
And-
take you like to like produce a song?
So the process of learning, or how long does it take to produce?
Well, I was
a
asking
song?
like like you have the song like written down and the tune. Like
Yeah.
how long does it take you to like just put it all together?
it
And
could
get
take
out?
like 50, 60 hours.
Oh wow. Okay.
So split up, I don't do
Right.
that in a week, but
Right.
over time I look at the program and it's like 60 hours.
Oh.
You
Oh, it
worked
tells
on
you.
this. Yeah.
Nice. So wait, would you say better music has more layering? Like when I'm listening to a song, I'm like, this is kind of a shitty song. Is it because there's not enough layers in there?
No.
Okay, that
It
doesn't have anything
really
to do with
depends
it.
on the song. Like some
Gotcha.
songs you want to be more stripped, more simple. Simplicity is sometimes
Oh.
key to some songs.
Right.
A guitar, a vocal, harmonies, and like maybe a piano, and
Yeah.
that does it.
Wow.
And some songs you want a whole orchestration and drums and full to the max,
Right.
Mhm.
So it really depends on the song. You write this, like I write it with a guitar, and it's just melody, chords, lyrics, and then yeah, you want to like bring it to life,
Right.
so
You
to
want the
speak.
best
Yeah.
like you want to decide like what the vibe is you're going
Yeah.
for the song.
And you also
basically.
want to keep it true. Like if it's
Yeah.
a slow emotional song, you don't want
Right.
to have like
Tons
crazy
of drums, yeah.
like you have to, yeah. So
All right, that's cool. So how long did it take you to
Um,
learn like producing the music?
it took me like a year, I would say.
And you
so-
went on your own, or you got like
On my
someone-
own, like YouTube courses, watching
YouTube's the
friends.
best.
Yeah, YouTube is sick.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
how I
learn
learned guitar.
anything.
I mean, I don't
Sweet.
play so well, but like I just learned like in high school, I was like, I want to learn guitar, so I just went on YouTube, learned the chords, and now I could strum
Sweet.
it any comes it.
Nice.
That's as far as it goes. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
pretty cool.
YouTube and just
Was there
time.
any
Yeah.
particular
Right, time.
YouTuber that you like watched in specific, or was it just anybody on YouTube?
Let's see. So specifically for the program I use, FL Studios, like Lario.
I don't know this.
I don't know, some random guys that like have a lot of content on like
Right.
tricks, It's really, you have to learn a system. You have to learn
Yeah.
the software. Like you guys, I'm assuming you edit the videos.
Yeah, we
So-
just do like Adobe, like But yeah, it's also
So the
what
more you learn it, there's probably so much in
Yeah.
there to learn.
exactly like what I've learned is that the more you just do it, you learn through it. Like like I've learned the most about video editing through just doing this podcast and editing stuff. Like if you look on Instagram, like the clips from the first time I put out clips to now, it's like such a different, just because I learned more stuff. So
Yeah, you
Sweet.
got so much better.
yeah, I think the more you just like practice. Okay, well I want to get into like the whole creative process and everything,
Sure,
but
yeah.
first I want to talk about like a little bit of the background on like before like choosing this career, and like did you ever have an initial time where you were like, okay,
Why are you laughing?
yeah, what's so funny?
Why? Because it's a lot. Yeah, this perfect question.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Tell me if anything is like, you know.
No, I looked over the questions.
Okay,
They're all
perfect.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to know like what
Yeah.
got you into like, was there a specific time or a specific event that was like, okay, this is like my passion and I'm going to have to like drop it. I don't know if you dropped everything, but like put a lot of effort into this. Cause it's scary, like giving up a financial stability and like all these things to like pursue your
Yeah.
passion.
Well, I guess no, I just started because pure love for music.
Right.
Like, and I never really thought about it being a career till I was like 17. I was in yeshiva. I had a friend who would record and who was very involved. And he's like, I want to manage you and I want to film for you. Like, I want people to see your art and hear your music. And like, I just started doing it like that. So it was never like, oh, should I choose something that will be more stable, or like, should I go to college, or is it this versus, is it college stability versus music? It wasn't that. It was just me doing it. And yeah, I just kind of found myself just keep doing it because I just love it. So I just want to make music. I want to play shows. I want to record. I want to write. So, and I'm kind of just going with it, I guess. I guess
that's cool when people find their I don't know, passion, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but like early on, because by the time you became college age, I guess you were just like, that's not even an option. Or did you go to college?
No.
I
did smicha though. I technically have a bachelor's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I relate to what you said a lot. Like the idea of just people kind of put this thing where they're like, oh, so you obviously thought about this before and like you made a direct decision. And for me, at least, like it was never that. It was always just like, I need to follow this passion, or I need to follow this voice that's telling me to do something creative or whatever it is. So it sounds like that was the case for you, where you're just like had this passion and you knew this is something that was a call, like you had like a calling almost. Was there like a song that you sung to him where he was like, dude, that's it, I need to show the world this? Like what made him so excited?
I was in Wilkes, and like it was very creative. They would it was very supportive for creatives.
They had like a studio there, right?
They had a somewhat of a bootleg studio that's one of the shluchim like built.
That's cool.
And there's just always music, art. Like it was just a space where in regular yeshivas you're learning 9 to 7. No, 7 to 9. It's retarded.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
In Choyve, like I would, as a 14-year-old, I would wake up, go to Hasidus at 7:30, and then the whole day just be in that building.
Oh my God.
And
You're
then,
like going at dark, leaving it when it's dark.
Yeah.
I can imagine why you'd have like a pent up amount of like things to put into songs after coming home from something like that.
So much emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
well, probably. Yeah. I never
crazy,
thought about that. But so going back, so in Wilkes, it wasn't like that. It wasn't just Gemara all day and Hasidus. Like we learned Hasidus, we learned Gemara, we learned those things, but there was time for, you want to learn how to code, like there's a teacher that can.
Oh, that's cool.
You can learn computer science. Like you want to go hit the studio, you want to write, you want to learn how to produce, like you have the ability to do that. So what was the question again?
Was there sang him a song, or did you?
Oh,
show him
okay.
something?
So being in that environment, naturally, I just started singing more, writing. My shliach was like, just go write a song, and I went and I wrote Otherside. Actually, that was my first complete song that
That's
I wrote.
a really good song.
Thank you. And really, the first thing that started it was there was an open mic night.
Mm-hmm.
So like creative, supporting, like, yeah, making open mic night in yeshiva, never.
Right.
Like,
It's so cool.
they'd
There
never
was like
do that.
no shame to it. It's like
Yeah.
just express yourself creatively.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
And
yeah.
everyone came into Zal, into Shul, and it was like 50 guys. And I went up there and I played Otherside, and everyone was singing it. And
No
then
way.
like for 5 months, everyone was singing that song like everywhere.
It must have felt amazing.
Yeah, it felt really good. I felt like support. That's what it was. I felt like people believed in me, and it was hard to believe in myself even now. Still struggle with that, but
Right.
that was like an icebreaker. That was like a huge moment. And then this friend, his name is Shlomo, really from there, he was like, I want to try to produce for you. Like, let's work together. And, we both were young, and we gained a lot of knowledge as time went on, but we got together and we started working, basically. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. I mean, I think the whole support thing also, I relate to that very much. Like when you want to do something, you're like, yeah, this is a great idea. And everyone around you's like, can you really pull it off? And like, it's very hard to like go through something when you don't have the support.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do have the support, especially like if you're going to be doubting yourself so much, like it's so important to have that around you. It's really awesome.
Yeah, so many people come out of that place.
Yeah.
Like confident in their art, in their
right.
whatever they're trying to pursue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before that though, were you like writing songs in your notebooks and like yeshiva? Were you like
were you always
anything?
like poetic, like always writing?
No. I never wrote songs before then. So I was 18. I was 18 then when I got to yeshiva. So I probably wrote my first song at 18. Yeah.
And now how old are you?
26. Yeah. Before then I was just playing. I was just covering songs.
Right.
Like Kalbach, like I was like the Kumsitz guy in yeshiva. Like when we would go away for like a weekend.
You're a very important person in like any like setting. You
funny.
always need that one person who like could jam out on guitars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was me. And everyone was like, play, but it wasn't originals. It was like, and my voice was developing too. Like, believe it or not, my voice wasn't great.
Did you take voice lessons?
No.
You just like developed
I
it
just sang, like, I just kept, I don't know, I was just doing it, like, because I loved it and I felt so connected to it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking really, like, it's interesting, like, looking back, like, you don't think about these things so much. You just do it.
Yeah, it's
like when I thought, would it be my career? I don't know. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, and it's also like people just look at you now and they're like, whoa, like 7 years, is that 18, whatever, doing this. It's like so long. How could you commit? And it's like, you're not even thinking of that time. You're just loving it throughout. So it's just like living life, which is such a cool thing to do. I don't know, for people who find something that's, I'm going to keep on going back to this because I just find it so cool. When people find their passion, so especially so young, and they don't have to do trial and error and just like, this is what they just like truly live life. I feel like it's just like, they're doing something that's like, it's like they don't have to, it's not like the grind every day. I don't know. You tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's not like, you don't feel like you're grinding every day. It's
now there's a grind. It's funny. I laughed because you said career and I'm like, is this like, I mean, I'm trying to make it my career.
I mean, now people know you as like a singer-songwriter,
it's
you know?
true, but
So
like, would I say it's like my career? I mean, I'm trying, but like there's so much more to grow for me to call it like a career.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, there's a grind. There is a grind. There has to be structure. Am I structured all the time? No. But it's so important for a musician to be structured, believe it or not.
Right.
Like,
and so you're doing this whole, like, do you have a manager? Do you have people?
I had a manager at a certain point and now I don't. No.
And so you're just running the whole thing yourself.
Yeah. I mean, recording myself. I'm trying to set up shows this year, so I'm doing that all myself. Rehearsing, like finding musicians, like, yeah.
Wow.
Do you find it
That's very cool.
better to have a manager?
Yeah, but you want to find somebody that you can connect with and understands you and like believes in your music. So
Yeah.
That's
Or you're
hot.
getting like an Elvis situation. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't, but I would love to.
It's really
it looks,
good.
It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you're reminding me of, you know who else said that? Billie Eilish. I think she also had like a similar philosophy. She's like, I just did music because I liked it. And then I was starting to put my music out there. And then her songs became really big because, what was that? Ocean Eyes was her first one that became huge. You listen to
It
her
was
music at all?
Ocean Eyes. It was on SoundCloud. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she,
Yeah, I listened to her a little bit. I listened to Ocean Eyes, really.
yeah, that was like
But I
the
don't
first
listen
one.
to
She
so
wrote
much
that when
more.
she was like 13 or something.
Oh, wow.
But I'm saying that similar process of like,
You're just doing it 'cause
it's
you
a
love
better, it's a better angle to go into something versus meaning like I'm doing this because I'm enjoying it. And I'm just like singing, putting my stuff out there. If people like it too, then they'll relate to it and
Right.
engage with it. But
It's also like where do you define success? Is success like the amount of, I mean, it's a hard one, but like, is it the amount of people who are listening to your music, or is it you just like loving what you do?
how do you define
Well,
it?
actually, interesting.
hard.
Today I was on the phone with a friend and I was like, whatever. I was like a little pent up. I was like, there's so many things I have to do. I have to get in touch with the people that want to hire me, hire the band. And like, I'm doing everything. Like I'm calling the guy about sound and this and that. And I'm like, when is this going to like pop off in the way that I want it, I guess.
Right.
In the way that I have a manager, I have a team. Like there's a lot of money rolling in. There's money to invest in, like to film music videos and make series and all and stuff like that. And he Josh, actually, Cedars of Lebanon, right?
Yeah.
And he was like success, like look, the fact that you have people listening to your music, like that's success right there, you know? So it really depends. Like it's all about perspective.
Yeah. And I think also like the career word is also, I guess it's a funny word because you're more just doing what you love. But when you could make a career out of what you love, I feel like that's where success lies. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard.
You
though.
can live off of what you love, like doing what you love.
Yeah, it's just hard to like make a career in it, like out of art, because everyone has a different route of how they did it.
Right.
There's no like, it's not like you
it's
go
not A to Z. Like
like if you want to code, like you study, you get an intern. It's like simple. Then you get a salary, and then it goes up over time.
Yeah.
You know, there's no like code for music.
Right. Yeah. That is difficult.
100%.
So it's always evolving also.
It's always changing. You probably, I mean, yeah. Let's get into your creative process, because this I'm actually really curious about.
Oh my gosh,
like,
I'm so curious.
how do you from the beginning of a song to when it's out? I mean, you explained to us a little bit about the producing part, but more of like writing the song, writing. First of all, how long does it take? What's the process like?
Okay, so the process is like I'm feeling something, and I know that I can express that with a guitar, singing and writing. And I literally grab my guitar, I just start playing. Like whether I'm thinking about an idea, or I'm just overwhelmed, or I'm really happy, or I'm really depressed, whatever it is, like I have the instrument and I start playing a chord progression, which is the foundation. And this is all natural. Like I don't plan this out.
Right.
I'm just describing it. And then I'm like, oh, wow, okay, that's nice. That's a good progression. And then I start with melodies on top of it. And then I'm like, oh, there's a hook. You know what a hook is? Like
The beginning part?
no,
or-
that's a chorus. Like that's like the main
okay.
part of this, a chorus. Yeah.
Does it come to you usually through the hook and then you have to build around it?
Sometimes I get the verses first. Sometimes I get the hook first. So
Interesting.
it really depends.
Because I write,
That's
and
interesting, yeah.
usually like a lot of writers' processes is that they'll get a very strong scene. The son confronts the father, right? And then they have to build the story around that one scene. So I was wondering if it's the same with your song building, but I guess you can't limit it to one thing. It sounds like
Yeah, it really
just depends.
It depends, yeah. And then I kind of just start forming lyrics as it goes. Like I'll literally be mumbling while I'm singing, and like just saying syllables, really, you know?
So that's super interesting. Like
Yeah.
you first know the tune before you know
Yeah,
what you're
like-
writing about.
Yeah, just the melodies just start flowing, and then the lyrics just come up. Like I'm singing, but I don't know what I'm singing per se.
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh, like that's a lyric right there, and then I'm like, there's the idea, like, and then I just start building, like going off of
Right.
that basically. So
Cool.
yeah.
So how long does it take? How long does that take?
It can take a few hours. Sometimes it can take an hour.
Oh, I thought like it takes so much longer than that.
No, I usually, if I have to write in the same sitting. I have to finish a song.
Wow. You
I-
finish a song in one sitting?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll go back and edit.
Right,
Like meaning
I see.
small edits, but the foundation is there. Like the chorus is there, the chords are there, the melodies are there, the verse is there.
Are these like spells of inspiration usually within like a lot of dry periods? Does it come very sporadically or does it come a lot?
Lately hasn't been coming at all.
Does that bother you?
I'm dry completely. It was, like
Maybe you need to go like on a
2
nature
months. Yeah,
hike or something. I don't know,
perhaps.
something.
Or maybe I need to live life more. I don't
That's
know.
what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you know what? Do you watch New Girl?
No,
Okay.
I
Never mind. Just reminded of a
that's-
scene of it, but
Of course you are.
when am I not? Anyways, continue what you were saying.
No, but that's what I was gonna ask. If you figured out what, I guess, if there's a kind of event that could lead you into inspiration, because many times you can do that. Like as a writer, you can kind of put yourself in this like kind of contrived inspiration setting so that it comes. For instance, if I don't sleep, people are very it's a very controversial statement to say that, but when I don't sleep, the next day my mind is racing with ideas.
Really?
Yeah.
really.
That's interesting.
So I'm wondering if it's the same thing for you, where you can have you can go on like a 4-day retreat and come back and it's like a lot. There's like a lot of inspiration for you to build off on.
You're saying, can I create a situation where I'll be writing more? Or is that the question?
That will inspire you to
Yeah.
write, I guess you could say.
I don't know. It usually just comes, really. Like, and if it doesn't come, I just don't try to force it or anything. And I have plenty of songs which I've written in the past, like, so I'm not worried about running out of songs.
Do you have a lot of unreleased songs?
A lot, yeah.
Okay.
I have like 10 like produced unreleased.
Oh wow.
And soon to be released, God
Nice.
willing. And I have a few others. Yeah, I have a bunch of others that are just on voice notes on my iPhone, and
Mhm.
I have them written down.
Right.
But I've tried like curating. Like I've tried like, okay, I'm sitting down and I'm writing a song. I've written songs like that, but I wouldn't say I feel the most connected to them.
Yeah.
So it's very
I
hard
guess.
to
Yeah.
schedule or to make this more ordered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's so sporadic and just
For
based off-
myself, yeah. There are songwriters which their method is write, and all the bad songs will just flush out. Ed Sheeran says it's like a faucet. It's like a old faucet that you haven't turned on for so long. You turn it on and there's like yellow water
right.
coming out. And then when that's done, you have pure water. So that's never worked for me, really. Maybe I
Mhm.
haven't consistently written enough songs, but
yeah.
I kind of just wait.
It's also
let it
interesting that a lot of
happen,
times
yeah.
people's songs come out that it's like after heartbreak or like
right.
you know
there's
how like
no-
Louis Capaldi, like his Someone You Loved, it's like literally like after he was like broken up and he's like literally sounds like he's like breaking down mentally, but he got this hit song. Like, do you ever feel like
like there
that
is
you
there
have to be
any
going through
running
something hard?
theme throughout? Yeah,
a lot. I
emotionally?
guess the harder meaning the harder things are, maybe it's easier to write. Like it's easier to write
Right.
sad songs than happy songs. I
Yeah.
would definitely say that. But yeah, definitely when I go through things, I'm always going through things. So it's just a matter of if it's like, I don't know, if it just comes out, if I'm
Yeah.
like,
Do you feel like the creativity, you're like a vessel, and it just like
yeah,
is it kind of feels like a separate thing from you.
legit. I just have to like remove myself. If I criticize in that moment, if I'm criticizing, oh, those lyrics are really shitty, like, sorry about that.
it's okay.
Then I completely break the flow of what I'm trying to do. So I have to just remove myself. Like if I'm writing lyrics, like I'll just write it. I'll put it in parentheses if I'm like unsure. But if I'm like, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, like you're not
If I'm saying like, oh, this is horrible
Right.
already, like then
you ruined the flow.
I'm not even giving it a chance. Like I have to let it out. So yeah, I guess, yeah.
Do you have a favorite part, like the creative process?
Being in that flow is incredible. Like I'll cry sometimes, like from just being in that zone.
Yeah.
Or I'll just feel like I just feel whatever it is that I'm writing about. Like I'm like in a zone, like my door's locked, like nothing is like in the way. Like,
oh my gosh. I should try writing. Maybe this will happen to me. I never write.
You have that feeling when you're editing, where time just kind of compresses.
But when I'm editing,
present.
it's like something where like I don't think about time. Is that something that like you have, where like just time flows and like you don't even
time flows? You just feel, it's such a raw feeling,
right?
It's
but like I feel like you're describing something more emotional. Like I'm not feeling like I'm not crying while I'm editing
because you're editing.
Like, yeah, it's not like anything emotional, but like I just never tried state. Even like diaries. Like I've never even tried to write down my feelings or anything like that. I wonder if like I'd have that experience with
you should try that. You should try to write.
I know I should.
Just write. Don't criticize yourself.
I get bored
yourself,
really easily.
You get bored. Okay, that happens to me sometimes. If I don't have like the patience to sit down, also then I'll lose it. It's like it's emotions, it's ideas, and they fly away. Like if you don't catch it real quick, you have to just jump on it, in a sense. Meaning you feel it, you have the pull to go, and like you have to just go. And sometimes it gets hard, but I'll stick it out because I know if I stop, I'm not finishing the song, and it's just gonna be trash.
Does that take a lot of discipline for you to do?
Towards the end, sometimes I have like a verse, I have a chorus, and I need a second verse, and I need to write the bridge, and I'm like, if I leave now, I don't know if I'll be able to tap into this energy and finish.
Right.
So I have to just stick it out. I'm like, no, let me like stick it out, and then. Yeah.
What's what do you say is the hardest like part of the song to write?
It depends on the song.
Okay.
Like. Some songs I get stuck and I'm like, that's it. It's done. Like, I can't find a good chorus. So I'll kind of just put it away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't delete it. Right. I'll just leave it. Yeah.
Leave it be.
Have you ever we've seen Soul. We did like remember the movie?
You've seen what?
Yeah. Soul, from Pixar.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of movies, so I probably won't know like shows either. If you want to talk about Fauda, I know Fauda.
Okay.
I don't really know.
Yeah, well, what about it anyway? Yeah.
There's this scene where they go into like the underworld, the little characters, and you see all of like these holograms of people. And she's questioning, what is that? And he says, oh, those are people who are in the flow state in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not really present in the world.
They're like in a spiritual realm. Like
exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's what I meant when I said like you get into that flow state when you're editing. Because it's almost like you're not present. Like your ego is not there. And you're just kind of
it's also like
overtaken
the whole idea
by
of
this
like
process.
Like time is relative. Like when I'm, I don't know, cooking something, it feels like a good hour, you know? But if I'm sitting down and editing, it's just like, I'm like, whoa, an hour passed. It's crazy. Like you just feel, time feels different depending on what you're doing.
Depending on if you're in that flow state. A lot of times but
it's more just because
it's that creative process that brings it out in people. So
true. Yeah.
I would say the reason why you don't probably feel that way editing, it's because it's more technical. And there's like a goal. Like, I don't know. I mean, let's say for this podcast, like, I'm sure there's not so much creativity going into the editing itself.
Well, it depends.
Right?
The clips.
Like you're cutting, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't agree.
No?
Well, I think editing could be a really creative process.
The clips are creative because I think I have to like maybe think of. Actually, I don't know if they're so creative, but they're more creative than just like putting the audio and video together and putting it out.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as creative as writing a song, But like Chaya says that she just like you hate editing, right? Like it's not.
Yeah.
I think just because I don't know, I love the learning the new features of it and different stuff, like whatever. Anyways, do you feel vulnerable putting out your music? Is that hard for you to like
open yourself to the world?
Yeah, I remember the first song I put out, I was like on the floor, like not shaking, but I was like so nervous.
Yeah.
Like it was gonna premiere on YouTube. Like there was like 40 minutes left, and I was like, God. And my producer was there and he's like, chill. And I'm like, okay. And like, so over time putting songs out, I don't think about it as much anymore. I try not to be so explicit about what I'm writing about per se for some songs, because if I don't want someone to exactly know what I'm talking about, then I try to kind of hide it in the lyrics or whatever. But it's definitely vulnerable. Yeah, it's definitely vulnerable. But over time, I don't know, it just becomes easier to share music, you know?
Right. So it's kind of, were you nervous because like you weren't sure people would like enjoy it, or was it more nervous?
It was more, I wasn't sure people were going to vibe with it or like it. But in terms of vulnerability, like I put it out, so I'm okay with being vulnerable with that. There are songs that I choose not to put out. I probably won't ever put out just because they're too personal to me. So
is there some sort of like healing process that comes with like putting out, like kind of like a therapy to put out your emotions out, like for people to listen to? Or am I totally off base? I don't know.
Like, do I feel like...
Yeah, like some sort of
does
like...
it feel therapeutic?
I got something off my chest, kind of?
No, not putting it out, but writing it, yes.
Okay.
Extremely,
yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about being vulnerable, like we're in this close-knit community where everyone kind of knows you are. I mean, you didn't grow up in Crown Heights, but still like you're in the Chabad community. Is that hard to like express yourself differently or do something that's not like the typical path?
Were you ever afraid of judgment?
Yes, for sure. In the beginning, extreme. Like I was like, oh, I can't cover a non-Jewish song, or like, am I dressed like the way people would accept me or whatever? Yeah, definitely I struggled with that, but now I've become more, I don't know, it's just over time, like I'm learning that I'm gonna be myself regardless. So
is there any like specific thing that helped you come to that point, or was it just time?
I think it was just time, really. And just realizing that like I have to make my own choices. And
were there instances where people were expressing judgment, or you felt like...
No, I never felt that way. Meaning I never seen like on comments or anything like, oh, this is so not Jewish, or like the vibes, like what are you doing? Like I've never got anything like that. But I internally I would feel that way, and maybe I was right, like people would judge me in a certain way. But internally I guess I felt that way more. So
it sounds like just over time those internal voices just quieted down.
And also when I did things that I felt like I was crossing lines, then I felt like, oh, people don't really care. People are not like that per se, you know? Like even with my beard, like I used to have a beard and then I started trimming it, and then I was like scared to like trim it down really, really low because I'm like, oh, what are people gonna say or whatever, and then I'm like, people don't.
Also, people who are like judging, it's like it takes a minute out of their day and then they're moving on with their lives.
Exactly.
And then for you, it takes up so much headspace. It's
you
might as well just do what you want.
And people also want the music, you know? So it's like, as long as I'm not doing anything crazy, you know, like, but like people aren't thinking about my beard. Oh, he's putting out music, but he doesn't have a beard. So I don't know if I should listen to him. Like maybe there are, and you know what? Those people could screw off. Like,
no, for sure. And they're not for you. They're not for your fan base. Like they're not.
But so it doesn't sound like you limit your self-expression, which is cool, because I think like at least like a lot of writers that I know, they're like so self-critical, and it's so hard to even get something on the page because you're constantly self-monitoring yourself and you're not like even letting yourself write. But were you ever in the initial phases of writing, were you ever worried about talking about quote unquote non-Jewish topics like love or things like that? And would you not write about those, or would you just write the songs and like be like, maybe for another time?
I probably that's a good question. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. So now you're Are you saying that now you're not really limiting yourself to what you want to write
like
about?
I have songs coming out about love, like, and not like Hashem or whatever,
Right.
like relationships, and I'm like, I'm ready to put it out.
Right.
Like like that's valid. Like that's a valid concept that people
Experience,
can
yeah.
relate to. Like, okay, maybe it's not a spiritual in a like, you know, a Hasidic spiritual idea. That's okay. Like we're all human. We all have, you know, that's part of our lives,
Yeah.
relationships. So that's okay. Like, I don't know. It's a good question. I'll think about it, and
Yeah, we can come back to it if an answer resurfaces.
Yeah. Was your family like worried about you choosing this path, or how did you deal with that? If it was,
We can also
take that out. No, I
not talk about this if you do not want to.
But we could also skip it.
No, so my mom has always been supportive. She's always supportive with everything.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
So she's like, wow, I love it. You know, like keep doing what you're doing. Like my dad was always kind of like being hard on me for that.
Right.
And out of love, out of care, like
Yeah,
I
for sure.
feel
It's hard
you
to-
know, but also, yeah, like he didn't really like it. He was cool that I was playing music, but at a certain point he was like, when are you going to go to college? Like he's huge into college, my father.
Right.
It means a lot to him to like go to college and, you know, find that
Something's more
stability
stable,
and
yeah.
just be like everyone else and just go, you know? And I didn't want, like, I wasn't drawn to that. So, yeah.
She just kind of was like, this is what I'm doing. And
Yeah, like I'm just doing it. And it wasn't really like, I don't know, some people probably grew up in homes where where their parents were so strict to the point where like they really couldn't do anything, I guess. My dad was very strict. He's a very like strict guy, but he wasn't like, I just did me, and he was like, okay, like
Right.
he's just like, what's he gonna say? Like,
it seems like you
I'm
kind of
putting out videos on
Yeah.
YouTube and I'm not going to college. Like, what is he gonna tell me? Like,
yeah, it seems like you just kind of have to have that attitude when you're pursuing something like this, because it's like you're gonna have to stand strong in what your decision is.
like, what am I gonna do? Go study something that I hate?
Right.
And
like spend years of your life
Yeah.
just like hating. For sure. Yeah. That's really cool and admirable. Performing, like, do you get anxiety before going on stage? How do you deal with that? Is there like a process?
But before you answer that, is anxiety something that you deal with in your life, or is this like a new phenomenon for you, like specifically relating to performing?
do I have anxiety in my life? Yeah, we all have anxiety. I wouldn't say it's like anxiety, like, you know, I don't go to a doctor like because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I don't go to a psychiatrist like I have anxiety. But like, yeah, I get anxious for sure. Yeah. But specifically before shows, I get anxious, but I know that I'm gonna do well. So I like trust my track record, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think to myself, like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like the worst that's gonna happen is like
everyone like pulls out eggs and starts throwing them at you.
Or, well, that could happen.
It's like the worst
or everyone
could
like
happen.
storms out.
You forget your. Should I give you some ideas right now?
We're like getting in his head more. Do you get anxiety? This is
I
what
can
you should
think
be
of
anxious
really
about.
awful things.
Yes,
I one time went on a stage and like in Camp Amuna, and I had a solo.
Yeah.
And I literally like completely blanked in front of everyone.
Oh, really? And you just couldn't perform.
I was like there just completely frozen, and everyone started like kind of laughing, whispering, and my sister was like, "Go remember your lines."
Oh, that's
I
really.
don't remember them.
That is
You know what?
I still have trauma from
Well,
that,
the
for
funny
sure.
thing is, in the beginning, I thought about that. I'm like, what if I blank out? Because I did have an early experience in my life where I was like, I'll get into that. But, like, yeah, what if I blank out? But it's never happened to me. It doesn't.
So you're just like, this has never happened. So why would it
meaning
happen this time?
the worst that'll happen is I'll go off key, and I realize I go off so many times. Like, it just happens, like every singer, unless you're Adele or like you're so perfect.
Right.
Like, but it happens. And then most of the time people are like, yo, that was so good. And like my producer's like, I'm like, yo, I think I was off for that song. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, you killed it. So a lot of times, like, even if little things happen that I'm like, oh my God, I messed the chord, or it's never like, you just continue.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
so the worst that's like, I think about that, like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I'll mess up a chord, so then I just carry on and like make a joke or laugh about it.
Yeah, as an audience
so-
member, like I went to one of your concerts,
Yeah.
and like as an audience member, I think people are just going, maybe it's not for everyone, but this is for me for sure, like just going for the vibe, and because like we like your music, so it's like we're just going there with friends, we're putting money, like we're paying money to just have a good time. It's like you're going out to a restaurant to have a good time, you're going there to just have a good time, and like one slip up of a thing is like totally not mess. It's just the vibe of it's more just the vibe and just like having
it's
fun.
loud too. People sometimes are like, people aren't paying attention exactly the way you're paying attention to your voice.
Exactly.
So I realize just it's
not even helpful to be anxious. It's
meaning
like,
you're gonna, I'm gonna calm myself down, and I'm gonna be anxious, that's for sure, before the show. There's always nerves, but I know that as soon as I'm in, I played the first song, second song, then that's it, it's over. Like, there's no more nerves, and I've channeled it, and now I'm just in the flow. That's it.
Is it that
That's the
same
goal.
flow state that you feel when you write?
It's a similar flow state, yeah. It's a performing. It's like being on the fly, like showing a little bit of humor, or like just kind of improvising. And
Is that something, like, did you always want to do that? I feel like young artists or like singer-songwriters, they want, like, they envision themselves in front of a crowd. Is that something you wanted? I mean, it came along with the process, but I'm saying.
No, I never really I never dreamt about it.
That's interesting.
I mean, I definitely at a certain point I was thinking like I would picture me playing for big crowds. Even now, like,
it's literally all I dream about when I listen to music to distract. Like if I'm at the gym and I need to distract myself, I'm just imagining myself performing it. Does anyone else do that, or am I just weird?
Well, when you listen to a different song,
I picture myself performing it so that I could distract myself.
I think that's weird.
Thanks, Yosef.
Well,
how do you pronounce your name? Yosef or Yosef?
Yosef.
Yosef. Okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not
okay,
Yossi
I'm just
though.
weird.
I'm not Yossi.
You're not Yossi. Okay, we won't call you Yossi.
That's different.
Yes,
well, I don't think.
yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Wait, if I listen to a Billie Eilish song, I don't picture myself being Billie Eilish or what?
Maybe it's a girl thing. Do you do that?
Picture myself as Billie
Performing
Eilish?
it. Not as, but like performing it. Like if I'm on the treadmill, I really need a distraction to get myself through like the 20 minutes. So I'm just like, the real distraction for me is imagining myself performing a song. Well, I feel so vulnerable.
No, but I do envision is myself getting an Oscar for like an incredible movie that I wrote. That's why I'm asking you if you like envisioned yourself in front of a crowd singing a song that you wrote. Like, this is
How
it.
many
I've
times
reached
can you
the pinnacle.
replay you getting an Oscar in your head while you're
Endless.
endless? Like,
and every time I say like a new witty joke, that the crowds are just like, oh,
thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom, for believing in me.
Crying.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I thought about being at the Grammys.
There we go.
There you go.
Yes,
Now it's
okay.
coming out.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
you got to pull it out of me. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
But it wasn't, you're saying it wasn't really like the goal to perform. It was more.
Yeah, like performing is actually one of the stuff I prefer. No, I like performing. There's just a lot of things in performing that are annoying. Put it that way.
Like what?
Technicalities,
arranging
business side of
shows.
things.
Yeah, there's a lot of annoying things.
Right.
But once you're up there, it's like great. If it's a good vibe, if you guys are rehearsed well, it's great. Like,
do you have like a specific band that you go with? That
not yet, but I'm working on one right now. So I have a bassist and a guitarist that are like kavua for now. So
cool. Okay, I think we could go into, unless you have any other questions about like.
Can I share a story?
Yes,
yes, please.
So when I was like 10, I was in a choir, and this taught me a lot.
Wait, could you let me restart the video and then?
Yeah, sure. Segment 2.
Yeah, we're gonna go into segment 2. No, it's not even that. It's that this camera stops after 29 minutes recording. So.
Yeah, so it was a choir. I had a solo. It was like an MBD song, and as I went up, the music just stopped.
Oh.
And I completely stopped. No, the mic stopped. I'm sorry. The mic went out. The music was playing, and I just froze. Like froze situation. And I remember the guy that was like running the choir was like, "You never stop." He screamed at me.
Oh man.
And that taught me a lot. That taught me a lot. You never stop no matter what. I've had like my guitar unplug, like you just carry on and like you motion to somebody or whatever it is. Like Shlomo is on the side. I'm like, bro, this is out, you know, like
right.
You just don't stop or whatever
That's so
it
true.
is.
Because
Like,
then like people are just like going, if it stop, the whole production stops. Everyone's like,
yeah. And
into it.
it's don't amplify what was wrong. Like you had an off note or you like, I cracked, you know, it's happened. I've cracked trying to hit a high note. Just carry on. Like, you know, so that was like a big lesson for me. Like,
right.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. When I think of like all the celebrities that perform, if there's something that goes wrong, I feel like they also just continue.
I mean, unless like I feel like
just
there's so
go
many
on.
stories of celebrities like just falling on stage. Like, did you see
I've
that Post
seen
Malone
those.
video? There was a full on like
What happened?
Killed.
so
Oh
there's
my
like
God.
a full
There-
on like they put
hole in the
hole.
stage. I guess it was for something to come up or something.
Yes.
He was just like performing and he did not see the hole and he just like fell straight in. One of his legs fell.
Did he
So
not
it was,
crack
like,
his
half
back or
his body.
something?
He for sure cracked some ribs.
he cracked ribs.
No
He's
way.
on
When
the-
was this? I
This
love
was like
Post
a few weeks
Malone.
ago.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Your pal's
I'll
hurt.
check it out. I'll have to check
on
it
him.
out. Yeah.
Send him a
No.
message of like.
He like he stopped. He stopped.
I wish he was
at
my
that
pal.
point. He did not
Yeah,
continue.
he imagine you just
Okay.
continue this show.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah,
That's
Also, with your story, I wasn't sure if like it would go into like you having just trauma from that one person screaming at you, but it looks like it taught you.
Yeah, well,
Which is
it was
cool.
it was helpful. I mean, it
Yeah.
was traumatic in the moment. I got up there like all the moms. It was a bungalow colony, and it was in the summer,
So
and like all
traumatic.
the moms and all the
Oh my
kids and the
God.
10-year-old girls, which I was probably trying to impress, and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. I just froze. I was like, yeah.
Wait, I love how he's taking it so seriously, like as if this is a huge production.
Yeah, the guy's like, yeah.
Like this little kid. That's so
He
funny.
takes his job really well. Listen now.
Exactly. Little did he know.
Do you know who
Little
this
did
guy
he know.
is? Like, do you know where?
I have no clue.
Wow.
No clue.
What if he
no.
listens to this? There's no way.
You guys have a lot of listeners? What's
Yeah, we have about
Sweet.
we're up to 50 followers on Spotify.
nice.
And we have like about 200 lists, like unique people who checked us out on. But this is just on like Spotify is the one that gives me the most analytics. Apple, the rest don't really.
Yeah.
So Spotify.
Hannah
no.
says she has the most views.
So Hannah has.
Is that true?
she's
Because
the-
she doesn't stop about that.
Should I break her heart? I think she's like the second to most.
Yeah.
She's second to the top. But yeah, it's pretty cool that we're also in general, we're just like we're getting better and better at this. We're
Yeah,
just like
keep doing it.
we're just gonna keep on doing it for
That's
but, yeah.
fantastic.
okay, let's go behind like the meaning of some songs.
Sure, yeah.
I was actually do you know Zach Singh? He's like this
No.
interviewer. Wait. One question before. You said you don't like, watch movies or TV. So what do you do like in your free time?
Okay,
I'm sorry, I'm so
Are
serious
you a
about
total
this.
freak?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you do?
What do I do on my free time? I watch YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
YouTube is like I guess maybe it's my attention span. So shows are way too like
Mhm.
I can't get myself invested into shows. Like I don't even have Netflix. I've had it in the past
Wow.
and then I've gotten rid of it. It's not even wow. Like people are like wow. Like people are like
It's not-
Impressive.
right.
It's not even like a
Just that
thing
you're not
for
interested
me.
in
Like
it.
I'm just like I can't be bothered. Movies also like it has to be a really good movie or
Have you watched like any classics? Like or not even classics, but,
Yeah,
like,
I
the
mean,
big
I've-
movies.
yeah, like I don't know if what's it called? Good Will Hunting.
I was just gonna say that.
that one is one of my favorite movies.
That's probably my favorite movie.
sweet.
Nice.
That one I don't know like
Or-
just
Top Gun?
no
Not into it. Okay.
I don't know.
You should watch all
give me
this
some
stuff.
names.
Like The Departed or Titanic.
No, never Titanic.
Titanic, no.
Mm.
What about? I'm trying to think of like Shutter Island. These are all my favorite movies.
It just doesn't interest me. Like
Got it,
people
okay.
say Titanic. I don't know. Like I don't care. Like it's probably one of the most popular movies.
Probably
right?
one of the most. Yeah.
I never had like it has to be like I have to be drawn to it.
Yeah. I understand.
It also has to do with who tells me to watch, because a lot of people tell me watch this, listen to this song, and I'll probably like say okay and not watch it or not listen to it, and then like 7 months later I'm like, yo, I've been listening to this song, and he's like, bro, I literally told you about that, and I'm like, all right, it
you
wasn't
just kind
the
of have
time.
to come to
I
it
don't
on
know.
your own. Yeah. I get that.
Um,
I get that a lot of times people try to like get you to watch a movie. I'm just like, okay, chill. I'm gonna do it when I.
Yeah.
But okay,
What?
so what?
So
I
you-
want to know what artists you listen to.
So wait, should we go on to what I do my free time?
Yeah, let's do that, and then
Yeah.
after
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
YouTubers.
I mean, I play music, I write, I produce music.
Right.
A lot of my like I have a day job, so I work till like 6, and then I get back and I produce. I write whatever it is. Let's see, hanging out with friends. That's pretty much it.
Sounds like fun. Besides for the day job, everything else sounds fun.
Yeah, I like hanging out with friends, and I really just like doing music.
Are you an extrovert or an introvert?
I'm more of an introvert, yeah, I would say. I can carry conversations, but I like to hang out.
And wait, what YouTubers do you watch?
Stuyot. You know
It's
what
not
that
a
means?
David Dobrik? What?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like
No.
thinking for a second that that's a YouTuber.
I'll tell you, when I say YouTube, like what, like people watch shows to blow their time or whatever to keep themselves
Right.
entertained. Like
You watch
I'll
entertaining stuff.
like you know what Stuyot is
Like-
in Hebrew? Like any
Right,
like,
mindless.
bullshit.
like bullshit. Like
Yeah.
Jake Paul. I love watching. I watch a little bit of UFC. I watch like Jake Paul's fights, like
Right.
when he's fighting.
Did you
I
watch him against Silva?
I did, yeah.
Was it a good fight? I didn't watch it.
It was
but-
okay. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like everyone was surprised at Jake Paul and his abilities. Did he do a good job?
He won, I think.
Yeah, he knocked him down. I mean, it's a whole complicated thing because Silva is like
Huge.
He's a big fighter, but
He's older.
he's old. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And like, so he's kind of like
I
picking
know.
his fights.
It is funny, yeah, that
but-
he goes like, I won. Like people are trying to doubt me, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, you are fighting older people, You're
And
literally in your prime
yeah.
of life.
Exactly. But I respect him. He's
Yeah.
a little bit of like a, I guess whatever.
Trouble.
He's a little bit of a, I don't know.
Asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole, but
I like his brother better. I like Logan.
Yeah,
better.
but I respect him that he's driven and he's making a lot of money and he's putting in the work to box. So I give it to him. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say he's the best boxer, but yeah. But these are the kinds of things. I watch a lot of educational stuff too, like a lot of music production, like for hours. Like I'm just in bed and I'm like, how do you edit samples, or like how do you do certain things? And a lot of it is complicated. So you're sitting there for like a 20-minute video and it's a guy just going through like the process.
Do you
of,
watch it
like,
on speed?
sometimes,
speed,
yeah.
right.
But if I have to
Um,
listen to it, I can't listen to the music. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I mean, I have the same
Yeah.
thing where I'll go on YouTube, like watch podcasts mostly for me, like my favorite podcast.
Joe Rogan clips,
Joe
like
Rogan,
little
yeah.
things like I'm watching.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I asked is because Zach Singh, he's a YouTube, he posts on YouTube his interviews, but he basically he interviews like really big singers.
Okay.
And I got this inspiration of like going the meaning behind the songs from him because he kind of like goes through people's albums and songs and like he's a really good interviewer. Like if you want to check him out. But anyways, that's where I got this idea. That's where this whole conversation
If I
started.
pause for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You've had this before.
Well,
You're good. You could blow your nose here.
yeah, in front of the camera.
We're gonna use that as blackmail. So, good things.
Yeah.
Can you describe the meaning behind it? Like what?
Yeah, good things.
I'm gonna pull up the lyrics real quick for myself.
Sure.
but yeah. Go ahead.
It's kind of like it's just it was a point where I really like appreciated life. It was just love for life, and going through things in my life that were harder. It was kind of like the verses are more of like these sad things, and the chorus is more like this feeling of like I'm in love with life right now.
Right.
So I wouldn't say it's a specific thing. A lot of my songs are more general. Some songs are like that, meaning it's not
just like a general feeling of.
It's not like a specific story.
Right,
exactly.
right.
It just.
Which I think is more relatable sometimes to people when it's just like a general thing of life, like feeling, like how you're feeling in this song. I'm trying to remember the lyrics here, but you say you have to find God beneath the dark.
Yeah, God, you're also found beneath the dark. I think that's it. So yeah, it was just like, I guess the idea of like seeing light from darkness, or like going through having a lot of darkness, but then coming out and seeing light, like enjoying life. Like, yeah. So
I think which is something that a concept that we grew up learning in Hasidus, which is just like finding God within everything, not just the good parts, but also the hard parts.
And I find that I have to, if not, like Yisroin Ha'or Min HaChoshech. Like if I don't look for the light in whatever darkness I'm going through, then like it's chaos for me.
Yeah, it's like,
and like I can't. Yeah, I just want to escape, or I want to run away from it. Like I have to face it head on.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it was
It's like an important skill everyone has to learn, to just like find, even if you don't believe in God, but like just the goodness in bad. I don't know. It's a tricky.
Yeah. You have. I don't know. I can only speak for myself, but I think it's very important. Yeah.
I do too. I think it just gives more meaning to life and more purpose, where you could just like, even if you're going through hard things, you see the good in it, I guess. I don't know. It's hard when you're going through it though.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's super hard.
And you can't really say it for other people. You kind of have to only say it for yourself. Like, I'm going to work on this. Because if someone else is going through a hard time, you can't be like, well, find the good in it. You know, it's not really.
Sometimes you see it comes more clearly. Sometimes you have to like work at it harder. Like, and you have to face whatever darkness that is. Like,
yeah.
It can be anything, whatever. Let's say it's transitioning jobs, or like it could be really from the simplest things to the most like craziest, darkest stuff.
Right.
So
yeah.
Sir, can you bring yourself a little bit closer to the mic?
Sure.
Yes. A little bit.
Okay, in the song Otherside, you're referring to like a you. There's a you, like a subject. Who is it referring to? Is it referring to someone?
It's referring to God. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's referring to this like pull, kind of like the sitrach, or the pull to there, like the other side, the pull to the other side, and like how I need God in my life to basically not be pulled in that direction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I wasn't sure about the meaning of that song, so that's cool to hear.
So that's basically it. It's also a general kind of scope, like, and the listener could take it the way they relate to it, and like whatever that means in their life. But like the other side's too strong, it's pulling me down. Like I could feel the weight, like, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have an interaction with a fan that was like, that they like told you about something, like a song that really inspired them? Or
I've had messages people sent me. They're like, cool. I really needed this song at this time. Like, you saved my life. Or,
whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, very powerful things. Yeah.
Okay, and then last song that I want to ask about was the song Devotion.
Yeah.
The meaning behind the lyric, I won't look back into the dawn, and I will not wait for kingdom come, which is that referring to Mashiach? Like,
interesting. Yeah. So it's I think it's a Christian idea.
Kingdom come.
It refers to, I think,
Messiah. Yeah.
It refers to the Messiah. Exactly. My friend told me it's like I was writing it with Zalmian over.
Okay.
So we came up with the lyric. He actually came up with that lyric, and I was like, dude, this sounds sick. Like, but then he's like, it is a Christian idea. So I was very reluctant to like, kind of the question you had before, like, you know, but then I was like, no, this is like, it's also a folk saying, you know. It's
I
also,
mean, Matasiyahu used it in one of the songs.
I was wondering if Matasiyahu used it in the song.
So it's also like, it became a kind of like, folk. So I was like, okay, it's okay to
Yeah.
like, we'll keep this in. But it was just talking about devotion, like the idea of like devoting. I remember personally for me, the inspiration for it was like my producer was getting married, and like I was very reliant on him at the time, and I kind of felt like I was just hanging in midair. I was like, I'm handicapped, like I don't know how to do anything. Kind of before I started producing myself. So I was like, there's so much for me to learn. Like I have to do things on my own. So I was just talking about that with him, and he was talking about some other personal stuff, and we just kind of came together with our ideas, and like this idea of devotion, like we have to stay devoted. Like I won't look back. Like,
Right.
So yeah.
So was it so
Again, it's very hard to what's the right word, to exactly put the meaning of a song in a
Right.
box. Like I'm trying
Yeah,
my
right,
best,
right. I get
but
that. But I'm saying specifically that lyric of like, I will not wait for kingdom come. What does that mean? So what, you weren't referring to Mashiach, you're referring to the general idea of like waiting for like a bigger thing?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm not waiting, like
Yeah.
like devotion, like you
You're
know,
in the-
like we're in it, like
Got
yeah.
it.
So
Tunnel vision.
yeah, it wasn't Mashiach. That
Okay,
wasn't the but you're welcome to take it there.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was
Yeah.
like, I guess, like, I mean, you have to, like, anticipate, we're taught growing up to anticipate Mashiach and live our everyday like there's a Mashiach coming, but at the same time, like, you have to live like you're in the world with bad and good and, like, stuff like that. You can't live like Mashiach's here when it's not here.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was that,
No,
but I
so,
completely took it into.
Well, that sounds sweet.
I think "sweet" is your quotable quote. Sweet.
What sweet is?
Yeah.
Like I use that.
You
a
use
lot.
that a lot, yeah. Do you don't notice that?
Sweet.
Sweet. It's a good word.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's the best. Isn't that the best thing when you put something out and people are like giving you these different interpretations of what you put out, and it's like, wow,
I love it. I like, in a sense, I try not to say exactly what it is.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because I want people to just relate to it in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much time are we at?
1 hour and 2 minutes.
Okay.
Wow, that didn't even feel like an hour.
Nice.
Wow,
We're in a
good.
flow
I like
state.
that. Yeah.
Is there? I want to get into like more fun, chill,
Sure,
rapid fire
yeah.
questions. But is there anything else you wanted to share? That
Any
we
other
haven't touched
funny
upon?
stories, maybe?
I feel like there's so much to share.
Have at it.
We just have to coax it out of you, though. But like, we're out of questions, so maybe
You guys are out of questions.
No. I mean, I can think of questions. Don't put me on the spot like that. I'm a good
Let's see,
interviewer.
is there anything I would love to share specifically?
Trying to see if there's a question I didn't ask. Oh, this is a good one that I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is something, but is it hard to balance like what you want to create versus what your fans like what's more popular? Like, let's say pop music maybe will get more listens, but like you want to.
Yeah, so most of the songs I put out are just because I love them. Like I didn't curate them because I was saying like, oh, the fans would like this song. But there are songs that I will say that I think most people will vibe with this one over this one. Meaning that I can say, but again, it goes back to like I try to just be natural and real. Like if the song comes. Like, it's hard for me to like write a song and I'm gonna write a hit song today,
Right.
you know? Like I could write it, but then like I don't feel connected to it.
Yeah, it's
In a
like it feels
sense.
disingenuous.
So I try to do what I vibe with. Like if I like the song, that's it. Like it'll go out.
yeah,
Or like if
That's
I
cool.
feel like it's ready, it's ready.
right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into
Sure.
rapid
Yeah.
fire. Favorite instrument?
I love the guitar. Obviously.
Yeah. Electric or you play
I play both.
acoustic?
Yeah.
Okay, both.
I like both. It just depends for what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Electric is cool.
So electric for playing. Electric looks cool too.
Yeah. You look like it's like a rock star.
Yeah.
Like a badass,
vibe. Yeah.
for sure.
But for depending on the sound I'm trying to achieve. So if I'm trying to play soloing or get a little effects on the guitar, like distortion, like you use an electric guitar. And if you want something more acoustic, simple and light, it's an acoustic guitar.
Okay, so
Sure.
guitar.
Yeah.
Favorite instrument.
Yeah.
Should we go back and forth?
Yeah, go ahead.
Which artist is underrated?
Which artists are underrated?
Yeah.
Or you can pick one artist.
When you wrote this question, did you want it to be like in the sphere of famous artists, or can he say like someone he thinks like
Anyone.
like a local artist maybe?
Anyone that you think is underrated. We could do one that's famous and one that's local.
I mean, Vance Joy. I love his music.
Wait.
You know,
Vance Joy.
Riptide. Like,
yeah.
That's his.
You think he's underrated? Riptide is like the most famous song.
Well, that song did really well, but listening to his other music, I'm a big fan of his stuff. Like, and I feel like he's a little bit underrated. Like,
Maybe he's not like a
because he's
Justin
more of like
Bieber
a
or
one-hit wonder type of thing. Like he has one song, and
I mean, he has.
No,
fans.
he is out. He was.
He
what
has.
else? Owl City. Is that? Oh, that's a separate
no.
band. Okay.
that's a different band
I'm so
entirely.
confused
That's
right
a different
now.
artist
We're
entirely.
saying underrated. It's really hard. I mean, because he does get the credibility that meaning he's big. Like he's a huge artist.
Right.
Vance Joy. People know mostly of Riptide and his famous like Saturday Sun and all of that. But
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like an artist that there's a couple songs their name, but that's kind of what they're known for, and there's so much more underneath that all that they should be famous for, but people don't
a lot
really.
of artists are like that.
Yeah.
And it's natural that way that people know the hits, you know?
Yeah.
But that's a hard question to answer, underrated.
Like you think that I assume it should be like you think that there should be more appreciation or more like hype around this
Ben
artist.
Howard. There's an artist, his name is Ben Howard. He's literally like from day one of my favorite artists. I feel like he's underrated. I understand why he's underrated because he's very folky and he's not poppy. So you get what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
he's very niche.
Yeah.
I get it.
But does that okay? Not to overcomplicate things, but if someone's very niche, does that mean that they're underrated, or just means that they're niche?
It means that they're niche.
Okay.
But
in folk circles,
no.
is he like huge?
I guess it could be like
yeah,
right.
he
I guess
has
in the
his
genre.
credibility. Yeah,
Alright,
of course, yeah.
Okay, which artist is?
I want to answer the overrated.
Yeah, that's
that's
about
the next question.
That's the next
Billie
question.
Eilish.
Really?
I say it right now.
What? Oh,
Yes.
But we were talking about her.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
I don't. How is she overrated?
Yeah, you're gonna have to back this up.
Are you guys
I mean,
big
I don't
Billie
know.
Eilish
I'm not
fans?
such a big Billie Eilish fan. And she does have like a cult following amongst like young teenage girls. Like there was this girl that I knew who was in high school, and she literally would dress like Billie Eilish, like with the spiky stuff and like I was
the
like,
green
whoa.
bean.
Really? You're gonna
Yeah,
tell
she
me
literally
who.
would wear a green beanie, and she had her hair dyed like green on the bottom. Like she was literally whatever. But not art grade.
Oh my
Someone
God.
that I worked with.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Okay. But
Don't drop names.
no. By the way, this camera's dead right now, so we're just gonna go from audio from here on
That's
out.
fine, yeah.
Oh,
by the way, you guys posting like a whole long video?
yeah.
Oh, you guys have it out on YouTube? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't check.
We're posting
Only
the
if
whole
you're
thing.
comfortable with it.
Yeah, I'm down.
But I get what you're saying. Like she has like this cult following that's like almost like
I think she's just yeah. Okay, I'll tell you. She doesn't use her. I hate how she whispers. I like listen to a whole record. She drops a whole record, and she's like whispering half of the record. So
you're saying the way she sings is very low, like
the way she sings, like I don't know. I don't feel like she's like I don't feel it.
Mhm.
And everyone talks about how emotional she is. Like I don't feel any emotion listening to her stuff.
Wow.
yeah. I don't listen to hers that much. She's not like not one of my favorite
And
artists.
she's
but-
also, to me, she's like, I feel like she has like this cult following. Like
Yeah.
she's also very gimmicky. Like I don't not gimmicky is not the right word. She's very external. I don't like so much externality. Like
it's not so much. It's more of like she's putting on a show. You're saying
it's a lot of show. It's like
Mhm.
it's Hollywood. Like to me, that's what it seems like.
probably yeah, which is very smart
Like
on her
Vance
part.
Joy is this tall guy with curly hair, and like I guess he's good looking, but and he just plays so well, and he's so deep, and I just connect to it. Like there's no nail polish and the whole green thing, and like the whole like
Yeah. I'm sure she had like a very good marketing team who's like, you got to
sure.
make your niche, like your specific like thing.
I give,
which is,
she's huge.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. She's like,
but she's overrated.
For me, in my opinion.
In your opinion.
Kind of agree because I don't really listen to her. So I guess I never really thought of her like so overrated, but yeah, I don't listen to her and I'm not as obsessed as everyone else is.
Yeah, I don't agree. I mean, I hear your comments about like her whispering things. I think that's very like, what's the word?
Emo.
It's not emo. It's very reflective of the way a lot of singers are nowadays, specifically with like Gen Z. It's this very like soft, kind of using your head voice. It's not really using your projection. You're not like Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. You're like belting and using your whole voice. But there is, I think what we were talking about with effects, I think that there's just different effects that those kind of vocals, like what's the word? They strike, they cause a different effect. And I think with Billie Eilish, she always has had this very like soft and like, I know you said you don't think it's emotional, but like emotional tone to her songs. And that's how her voice is a vehicle for that as well. Like I don't think she can't sing. And I think there are plenty of clips out there right now where she is using more of her voice. And there's this one clip that is actually going viral on TikTok of her like actually using her voice. People are like, what? She was hiding this. But I think that's her that's her
Sounds
brand.
Like you're part of her cult.
I actually really don't listen to her.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
there are a couple songs that I really like of hers.
It's funny, like her songs that I listen to.
She's such an interesting artist. And I love that she's breaking the mold with women and body image because she doesn't expose a lot of her.
I
know you're saying this Hollywood thing, but she's not the mainstream with Hollywood. She's very different. And yeah, she's gimmicky. I mean, she's has a look,
not the typical
but she's
body.
Not,
okay, I see that. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Meaning I see what you're saying about how she's not Hollywood in the way that she dresses. That's for sure. Yeah.
No, she's not.
Not even dresses, just the way she's not like the skinny like
Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Right.
She's not
so it's like
all of these, which is fine. There's a place for everything, but I don't know. She's kind of like breaking the mold in a way. So that's why I think she's so popular. So
I guess maybe it's just because I'm not so drawn to her and like.
Yeah, you're very different from her. Your music too.
Yeah, and she has a huge following.
And you're like, why isn't Vance Joy more popular?
Why is everyone going crazy over this girl? Like, she's whispering, all right?
Like, I can't hear what she says.
And everyone's just... That's the way I see it more, I guess. Like, come on, like Ben Howard, or James Bay, all these other artists.
Like, you're frustrated.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
So who's your favorite artist?
All time?
Yeah.
Of all time, I would say Ben Howard, James Bay. Ed Sheeran was a huge inspiration for me, like when I first started listening to non-Jewish music. And yeah, I mean...
Any Jewish artists that you like?
Yeah, Israeli, like Eviatar Banai. I like Yishai Rebo, but he's not like, Shuli Rand. I don't know if you heard of him. Please check them out.
Yes, I have heard of him.
Shuli Rand, Eviatar Banai. Those are some Jewish artists. Like
Yishai Rebo, I think is amazing, but he's like a huge like staple in our home.
Yeah, Yishai Rebo is amazing. I don't listen to him a lot, but he's incredible.
My family, we've become really obsessed with Hanan Ben-Ari. I don't know if you listen to him.
I've heard some of his. I saw him live too in Israel, a free show.
Nice.
Wow.
In a park.
Oh yeah, they do that in like settlements.
They do that a lot in Israel.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food?
Food?
Why did you ask that twice?
It really depends.
I was like, am I reading this right?
Favorite food?
Yeah.
Steak.
No.
Steak and beer.
I'm thinking sushi, pizza, but I'm like, no. I have to
be different.
I have to really. No, I don't have to be different.
Okay.
I really have to dig deep and like.
Okay,
good.
And
we're gonna have one of your sessions here.
Dig deep. Salmon in the oven.
Salmon in the oven.
Yes, simple, and it's really
no spices, right?
Oh, lemon.
You have
Okay.
to put something
I
on
did
it. Rivka doesn't
Kaya?
put any spices on her
You
food.
literally
It's
don't
ridiculous.
understand.
It doesn't make sense. She doesn't
I make
put
salmon.
salt.
No, I don't even put salt on
That makes no
salmon,
sense.
and it's amazing.
No,
It turns out amazing.
Oh, do you
Anyway,
put
makes no
lemon
sense.
and like?
No,
others?
but maybe that's a good idea. Maybe start putting
lemon makes it less fishy.
okay, when he says
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
We got.
Do you eat anything
Salmon.
while when you write? Do you have like any
Such
snacks?
a funny question. No,
No.
nah. I can't have anything distracting. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
What is your? Well, we spoke about this favorite movie, but I guess
favorite
Good Will
movie?
Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. Yeah,
that's a good one.
yes.
That's what I was thinking when I wrote this
Yeah.
question. Good Will Hunting. Go.
Oh, cats or dogs?
Cats. Yeah.
Really?
I love cats.
Oh my
yeah.
Such an
god, I cannot
introvert.
relate to that.
I love dogs
Is that an
too.
introvert thing?
Yeah.
I love dogs too, but in yeshiva we had a kitten we found off the
Aw.
street
Aw.
in Wilkes, and we brought it in with my friend Moishi Feller, and it was
I know
that's
Moishi
where
Feller.
you know Moishi Feller.
I was
Oh, you
in
probably met him.
Guatemala. I met
Sweet.
him in Guatemala. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where that's when I started to love cats. I was
Oh,
like,
Wow.
that's so
Yeah.
cute. A little kitten.
kitten. I mean, they're a little bit. They ignore you, but that's
Yeah.
like okay, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Like,
Would you
They're
ever
very
get yourself
independent.
a
They're very
cat?
independent.
no, I wouldn't get
Okay.
myself any animals, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
Superpower of choice. What would you choose if you could choose?
It's a good one.
superpower of choice.
Could I guess one in my head?
Yeah, in your head.
Well, no. I want.
Just keep it internal.
No, I want to say it, but like, yeah, I would think that you would say invisibility,
Superpower of choice.
but I want to influence your decision. That was my point.
Oh.
I'm gonna write it down, and if you say the same thing,
But you also just said it. But
Did you
didn't
hear it?
He didn't hear.
okay, he's in a flow state.
I didn't hear it. I did not
He's
hear it.
gone.
I was really.
I'm
Thinking.
using flow state right now.
I
It's
never
feeling.
think about this, honestly. I never think about if I had a
Listen.
superpower, but
This is what we're
These
here
are
for.
rapid fire. You're not really supposed to think very
I'm
deeply.
not supposed to think
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
the point. Rapid fire is supposed to be like.
Okay, if I
whatever
could just
comes.
make my career just like take off in the way I want it right now.
That's not a. That's a.
Is that a superpower?
Yeah, we'll
like,
let him have it.
yeah.
Not invisibility.
I mean, come on. What am I gonna say? Speed? Like
Yeah,
Why
that's pretty
not?
cool.
Okay,
Like
fine. No,
Flash.
that's a good one.
maybe I'm just trying to think about everything. It's too deep. I just have to be
Yeah,
more
rapid
simple.
fire. Exactly.
Okay. go.
Favorite a quote. A favorite quote.
That's a hard one.
That is a really
The
hard one
only
to think
way
about.
the only way out is in.
Pulls it out.
That's it.
The only
Nice.
way
The
out.
only
is
way
in.
out is
Love
through.
that.
Is in
Is through,
through.
yeah.
Is through.
It's through.
Yeah.
Who said that? The Baal Shem Tov? Samach Tzedek? Someone said that.
I think it's
It's
like
like
a like
a-
Muhammad Gandhi or something.
But it's a it's a very very Hasidic. It's a
It
it's a
is.
it's a
Yeah.
Hasidic
It's a
idea
Hasidic concept.
for sure. For sure. To elevate to
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Alicia Keys ain't got you.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
What's your favorite Yom Tov?
I said holiday. I didn't say Yom Tov. Read the paper.
I get the difference. Sukkis.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Actually no,
Judge.
Pesach. Pesach.
Oh,
really?
okay.
That's even weirder.
Sukkot is my birthday, but that's not why I would say that. But Pesach is something liberating about it. I like the ideas that run around Pesach. That's what it is. For me, Chagim is obviously holidays, but it's also tapping into the energy.
Right.
And I like for me, like, yeah, okay, so I won't necessarily dive in the whole thing or whatever, depending on every year is different and every day of the Chag is different, let's say. But I like to tap into the ideas, like to read the Haggadah, to learn like some deep
So you like
ideas.
truly
and-
feel liberated on Pesach.
So I like this, I really connect to like liberation, like, you know, like, yeah, I like
cool.
the ideas that run around. It really like fuels me. Like,
That's cool.
yeah. Sukkot has its ideas, you know? And
Sukkot is fun.
Yom
for me
Kippur has
also.
its like ideas that you reflect and connect to yourself, and like everything has its
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sukkot is more about like I guess the bring out the joy.
bringing out the joy, the praise,
Or-
letting the nation see that how connected
Mm.
to God we are. Like
Right.
there's a lot of ideas there.
Yeah.
Um
Coffee or tea?
tea.
We couldn't
I
be
wish
any
I
more
was
different.
like that. Yeah.
Sagul, that's it.
Beach or hike?
Hike.
Nice. Same.
Yeah, same.
Beach is
Yeah.
just not fun. If you had a time machine, which time era would you go back to?
Probably like to the 1900s in New York.
Ooh,
I was watching
Italian mafia.
some YouTube clips recently of like old, restored like 1920s. It's sick.
Yeah.
It just looks sick.
Not a
People in their
particularly good time
cars.
for us women, but yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Kai's getting political.
Yeah, that would be a cool time to go
Was
back
it really
to.
not? I feel like everyone in their era were like fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't laugh at me like
What?
that.
In the Holocaust?
No.
Oh my god!
Way to throw me.
Do
under
you
the
guys
bus
know
like
that there's like there's more controversy with the Kanye thing because now there's another I think a basketball player that came in and was like denying the Holocaust. He put out videos.
No way.
No.
Yeah.
way.
I did not see that.
Yeah, on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter.
I think I understand what you're saying though.
Meaning, like, I don't
get
think
what
women were like absolutely being tortured then. You know,
When in the
they were
1920s?
fighting for different roles that they wanted to do, but like, whatever. I don't know. It's definitely not considered like a Holocaust for the women in New York. But I'm saying like it's like they were probably just happy doing their thing, and then there was probably
I
a
don't know.
select few people that were like fighting for their
You can like
roles.
make a huge generalization of women were happy generally
Yeah,
during
I
that
can.
time. I don't know. You know,
Whatever.
I'm sure that there are specific women who like were very happy to be homemakers,
Right.
but I'm sure that there were also a lot of women who wanted to be able to vote. And,
Right.
like,
That's what I'm saying. When you're like
own
not a good
property.
time for women, it was like whatever. People
More
have to-
aesthetically, let's remove
Okay.
all the political
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. Aesthetically, it looked cool to like people.
Yeah.
There's no phones, like, and it's crazy. I was watching like I don't know, like a half hour of this like video of like it's so cool. Like kids are like in long coats, like they don't have phones. They're just like hustling to places,
Oh my
like,
god.
and I'm just like thinking where they going, like.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looked cool. Like I would love to be dropped in there for a little bit.
I get that.
Yeah. New
A
York
couple
for-
years earlier, like 20 years earlier, and you'd be like, in the center of New York would be gangs and like riches. It was crazy during that time in like the 70s, 1880s. Like New York at that time was like, I would reference a movie, but you've never even seen.
Just do it anyway.
It's that
The
movie with
Godfather?
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh.
Blood something. It was just crazy
Nah.
back then. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, are you talking about The Departed?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Things that annoy me, right?
Yeah.
What annoys
Yes.
you? Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Yeah. Myself.
Really?
Ooh.
Can be sometimes.
I was like, whoa, I've never heard of that answer.
Yeah. No, I mean things annoy me. I would say I annoy myself sometimes. I don't know. Let's see. A lot of things, and I mean things annoy me. I'm just trying to think of.
Pet peeve is more of like a
Someone would usually say loud chewing or
like a tick that somebody does that's like
that
I
really
mean everyone
like,
hates loud chewing. I'm trying to think of like my pet peeve is like meeting someone who's like completely fake.
Okay.
I don't know if that helped you in any way, but
yeah, but you answered it. What's
All right.
I did indeed.
what's your favorite cocktail?
I don't know much about cocktails. As long
Yeah.
as it tastes good, I'll drink it. I guess.
Fair enough.
whiskey or like you're going
Oh,
whatever.
okay. More whiskey stuff.
Same.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Whiskey
Whiskey
and Diet
sour.
Oh, as opposed
Let's
to like
go.
a white alcohol, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're breaking
Oh.
it down like that, I'll take
Whiskey.
a whiskey cocktail
Okay.
over like tequila or vodka.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Are they we're rendering all
I
this
don't know.
data and we're just like keeping it in store. Now we know your favorite cocktail, your favorite
There it is.
you like
yeah.
a cat. Okay. You're a morning or night person?
Night. By far.
Same. It's crazy. I was actually just thinking
Yeah.
about this the other day, how
That's rad.
I'm physically
Sweet.
happier.
I hope that was good, guys.
That's good. Yeah, we'll conclude. But, sorry, I was just saying let's wrap on the paper, but we're still
Oh,
recording.
we can still.
Yeah, we can
yeah,
still
we're still
chill.
recording.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just saying that it's crazy that I'm like actually happier at night. Like my emotions are more in tuned to happiness at night, which is just crazy,
Right.
ridiculous to me.
I would say I'm a night person because I enjoy the night more. Like the morning, I'm more like cranky, I guess. But I'm 10 times more productive in the morning. So I think I'm a morning person. Like you're more productive at night. My brain shuts off after 9 p.m.
That's a different way to look at it, I guess.
Yeah,
I
like,
guess it's how you're framing.
Honestly, if I would
question.
wake up, if I got myself into a routine where I was up at 6, I had my tea, whatever, daven,
yeah.
and then went off and I had a list, goals for the day, like, yeah, I'd be hella productive for sure. But I'm also really productive at night. Like, I'll stay up till really late.
I also have to weigh it
Writing,
up.
making music, like mixing songs in headphones, like it's
Right.
just quiet, no one's around. Go outside, have a cigarette, like come
Nice.
back, like it's just chill. No
Right.
one's
Eat some salmon with lemon. Sorry.
Yeah.
Why is that funny? That's a normal dish.
Well, I add more
No
stuff
salt.
to it as well.
What else do you add?
Salt, pepper, garlic, paprika,
You know what's really good?
and just chuck it in. It's
Put
good.
some
That's it.
mustard next time.
Really?
Like Dijon, yeah.
Okay.
Or honey mustard.
I'll try that.
Anyways, this was
Now
so
we can
great.
wrap.
Now we can wrap it up.
Thank
Sweet.
you everyone for listening and for making it to the end.
And
if
thank you
enjoyed,
so much for coming, Yosef.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, and I hope you guys got what you wanted.
Yeah, this was perfect. Bye.
That was 1 hour,
Sure.
25 minutes.
Nice. That's how long we usually go.
Let me check out the YouTube. Damn. So you guys have a YouTube where you post the full.
The full video, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, how was this experience for you?
That was sweet. This was sweet. I was actually really looking forward to
Okay,
this.
awesome.
I've never done this before. Yeah, I've never done this before, and it's cool.
Okay, good.
How do you guys like doing it?
I love it. It's like my favorite
Yeah.
thing to do. The only thing, like you said, when you're doing the shows, like putting everything together is like probably like putting all this together is my least favorite part. It's just like exhausting.
You can't just leave it like set up.
No, because
No.
y'all uses this room for photography and stuff.
God.
But like eventually, hopefully, we could get like a producer, or someone to man the cameras, set everything up. You
Yeah.
know, that's like eventually. But like
Yeah.
this is like we're doing everything, so it's exhausting at times.
Honestly, you guys are. This is sick. You guys
Thanks.
are killing it. You guys got this,
Aw.
the stands, the, you know.
But everything.
You guys gonna get the you know the typical podcast mics?
The
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
Sure
That's
SM7B. You guys are.
that is our eventual
Yeah,
thing.
that's our next
Nice,
thing, hopefully.
okay.
Not next, but like probably.
I have one. But
Nice.
I use it for vocals. It works great. Too.
Yeah, it's more for like close up,
It's,
right?
It's really more. Yeah, it's more for close up, and it's perfect for podcasts.
Yeah,
That's
everyone,
like why-
literally everyone uses
Yeah.
it for podcasts. Like they're expensive. They're like $400 each,
Yeah.
right?